Jessica Orff, and I am one of the student support facilitators. I cover Afton, Bayless, Hancock, Head Start, and Webster. I am here today to talk to you about potty training. Here we go. Potty training. When is the right time? The perfect age to toilet train your child is when they are ready. This is probably between the age of 2 and 4. But again, this will depend on your child and their readiness. Both of my children were around 3 when we were potty training. So are we ready? The first thing you want to think about before you dive into potty training, are you ready as the caregiver, as the parent? Are you ready? You're going to need to dedicate a lot of your time and attention to this journey. So make sure that you have some stressors set aside. Maybe during COVID, this is a great time for you to potty train. You're home and you're thinking, what else are we going to do? Maybe you're too stressed out and you're trying to juggle too much. Maybe it's not the right time right now. So before you decide if you're ready, make sure you have other caregivers, other childcare on board as well, and have that open communication to make sure that you are ready, your child is ready, everyone is ready. Some readiness behaviors you might see your child demonstrate. Can your child sit and attend for short periods of time? Typically around 2 to 4 minutes can they attend to certain activities. Does your child have activities that they like to do? Do they like to sing songs, read books, finger plays, puppets? Does your child understand the concept of completing a task and earning a reinforcer? Because that's typically how we're going to help our kiddos learn about potty training. So before we begin, you're going to want to think about taking some data, and I can, or your facilitator can help get you some data tracking sheets that will help you with this task. You probably want to look at about 2 weeks of potty data and noticing when your child's drinking, how long it takes them to urinate. You can read books about potty training, expose your child, talk to your child about pretty soon we're going to start going pee-pee on the potty. There are a lot of books that we'll share with you in a couple more slides. And there's also shows. Daniel Tiger, which we'll touch on in a second, has an excellent episode about potty training, and I credit that to potty training my son 90%. It was very helpful with potty training my son. You're going to want to make sure you have all your materials and you're gathering supplies. So for materials, you might want a potty chair. You may want a seat to put on your potty. And this will depend on what's motivating to your child or what you prefer. One thing to note, if you do decide to use a potty chair, such as this one that you can move around, that will give you another step later on to teaching your child to go from pottying on a seat like this to pottying on the actual toilet. This may be what's motivating to your child to begin with, and that's totally fine. This is an individual choice, but just know that that will give you an extra step teaching them to go on the big kid potty. You may also need a potty chair or a seat like this if your child has some physical need for more support on the toilet, which is also totally fine. Plan with your child, make a calendar, again, expose them before. Don't just dive in on one day without having talked to your child or exposed them. And again, your facilitator or I can help make you some stories so you can expose your child beforehand. And that'll take a little bit of the anxiety away. So again, we can help you with making visual schedules, routines, social stories to talk to your child about this. And you want to make it fun and exciting and expose them so that they're ready and excited. You want to review every time your child goes to the bathroom. Talk to them about it. And I recommend using real pictures for visuals if you decide to create these on your own, using the real pictures of the toilet, of your underwear, of that way they know it's easier for them to understand and process. And make sure you have these visuals ready to go. Again, don't just have this, look at this video and decide, I'm potty training tomorrow. Make sure you are ready for ultimate success. And these are just some examples of what some of our visuals that we have that we can give to you. This is what some of them look like. And these are some examples of great books that you can read with your child. And again, make it fun and exciting and an experience. And remember that this is a journey. This is a journey for you and your child. And something I find important to point out to any family that begins potty training, we're about to rock our kiddos' world when we do this. They have known nothing else than going potty in their diaper or in their pull-up. They have known nothing else. And we are about to change all of that. So remember, some kids might do super well and surprise you and quickly realize, oh, I go pee pee and poop in the potty. Other kids might have a harder time with that transition, and that is okay. But just keep that in the back of your mind. We are rocking their world right now. This is that Daniel Tiger video I was talking about. I'll spare you. I'm not going to play the episode right now. But this was super helpful personally with my children and potty training them. They already loved Daniel Tiger. So when we watched this Daniel Tiger episode, it really helped my son. And there's a song that they sing in there, and he sings it still to this day. So I highly recommend, if you are interested in a video to help reinforce potty training with your child, or your child is a fan of Daniel Tiger, I am a fan of this episode. Okay, so let's get started. You're going to select a potty time for 5 minutes prior to when your child would typically urinate or go potty. Please remember, up front especially, you have to be there for your child. You have to be giving most of your time and attention to this task, or it will not work. And also remember, you need to be there to assist them. This might be new to them. Assist them with pulling their pants up and down. And eventually we want them to be as independent as possible, but up front, you're going to be teaching and modeling, and you're going to be right there with them. Reward frequently. Praise them. Now, something to remember, every kid is different. Some kids might really love for you to make a huge deal. You did it. You pee-peed on the potty. Way to go. Other kids may be satisfied with a sticker to put on a sticker chart, and maybe they don't want you to make a big deal or to be too loud. That depends on every kid. I know my 2 kids are very different. My daughter was super fine with just a sticker on a chart and a pat on the back. Great job. My son loves to be very animated and silly and giggly, and so with him it was more like, you did it, you're a superhero, and know your child best, so know what that reward will look like for your child. And layer the rewards if your child is able to wait. So perhaps you're doing this for a few days and you realize, okay, maybe every other time they go potty, I can reinforce or reward, because they're kind of starting to get it. And I feel like you'll get that feeling, and you'll kind of know where to go from there. These are some examples of some potty charts you can use. And again, your facilitator or I can help create this for you if you would like. Thomas, it's very popular. Cars, my son is a huge Cars fan. Okay. And this is a question that comes up a lot. How do we keep them on the toilet? Um, and that might take some thinking and planning and strategizing. You can use a timer. I know when I was potty training, I mean, I still am potty training. I have a 3 and a 4-year-old right now. We're still living the journey. My Alexa was very helpful to set a quick timer, and my phone was very helpful to set timers. You can use stand timers, you can use a kitchen timer, you can use your watch, anything to help remind your child. Also, to keep them on the toilet, distractions, books. My children really sat there and were happy to read books. Singing songs with them. Again, this is a great time. It may not seem like it at the time. You might be tired and frustrated and you've been in the bathroom for the 50th time, but interacting with your child, singing with them, finger plays, I love you rituals. This is a great bonding time. It may not always feel like it, but just keep them happy and keep it light. And as long as it doesn't become a problem where they're screaming and crying to get off, um, keep it happy and light and read books and sing songs. That's the best advice I can give. You can use a first then schedule. This is a lot of our kiddos are used to seeing this in their classrooms and therapies. First potty, then playtime. As simple as that. And the less verbals, the better. You can show them these images and it's clear. First potty, then playtime. Make sure, this is a helpful tip, you're giving your child plenty of fluids to help them be successful. So you might think, why would I want to give them more liquids? They're going to have more accidents. But ultimately, it's going to give them more chances to be successful on the potty. So just also have that prepared before you begin. Know what fluids you're going to give them. They love water. I know juice is full of sugar, but you're going to want to give them fluids so that they're ready to go and ready to be successful. This is an example of a toilet training routine. I used these with my children, something similar. Again, these visuals are just so helpful for them to see what they need to do. Kids at this age really respond more to our visuals than us telling them, pull your pants down, pull your pants down, pull your pants down. All you have to do is point to these images. So have these ready in your bathroom. You can have these in social stories that we can share with you. Expose them to this before the day you actually begin. Uh-oh. It's important to remember, accidents will happen. Tell yourself, say it out loud right now. Before you begin potty training, accidents will happen. While you're potty training, accidents will happen. Even if you've had 2 or 3 really successful weeks of staying dry, accidents will happen. And it is okay. What is important to remember is that you stay as neutral and as calm as possible. We don't want to reprimand our children for having an accident. We don't want to make it a big problem, a big issue. We don't want to make them feel bad about it. What we do want to do is have them help clean it up. I have my children help clean up if maybe their underwear is just a little bit wet. Where do we put our dirty underwear? They have to walk it to their hamper and they know to put it in, or they help rinse it out if it's a little bit messier. And again, this can be stressful and frustrating. And as caregivers, we can take our deep breath and remember accidents will happen, but we're going to have them participate in helping clean it up and using it as a teachable moment. You can, after an accident, reread those visual stories, those potty stories, rewatch that Daniel Tiger episode or another cartoon that talks about potty training. Go over that routine again, but never forget that accidents do happen. And try to remain calm. I know I'm living it right now. I've been living potty training for a few years now. And it can be very stressful and frustrating. Take our deep breath, but remain calm. Accidents will happen. It is okay. What happens if we meet some resistance? I have experienced this with both my children, my son in particular. I try to help keep him on a bit of a schedule at home. You know, we have more downtime at home than we do when he's at school. So I try to set timers to remind myself and him, hey, let's go potty. It's been a while. I haven't gone potty. And when that timer goes off, sometimes I get the, I don't want to go potty. But then I resort back to my first then. First go potty, then you come back to playing. First go potty, then it'll be time for lunch. And that seems to work more times than not. But you may meet some resistance, and it's not unusual. Remain calm. But in some cases, it may, if you're getting a lot of pushback, a lot of resistance, it may mean that it isn't the right time. And avoid over talking, avoid punishment, avoid making them feel bad about it. Use our visuals, resort back to your social stories, or maybe if you're feeling like you need to pause, you need to reset, this wasn't the right time, that may be too. And again, it is okay. Some other issues we may run into. We have some kiddos that might have some sensory issues with certain pull-ups or certain underwear. So these are things you'll want to think of before you begin this process. Have these ideas ready and have this awareness ready. My son or daughter may not do well with pull-ups. Maybe we're just going to stick to straight underwear and keeping our underwear dry, and that's okay. You're also going to want to communicate with childcare, with school. If your children go to grandparents' house a couple times a week, if they go to daycare, if they are in multiple school settings, you're going to want to communicate with the whole team of childcare, because consistency is key. If you're just doing this at home for a few hours a day, that's not going to carry over to school if they're not also being consistent. So make sure that this is a team effort, because I promise you, if you have everyone involved and everyone's consistent, it's going to be more of a stress-free journey. Okay, so here's our toilet training map. We started with our strategy, with our game plan. We're designing what it's going to look like for our family unit. We're going to make sure we have everything we need, and then we're going to implement. And we're going to stay positive, and we're going to stay consistent. We're going to track our progress. We're going to see how we're doing, see if we need to back up a little bit. We're going to evaluate and repeat. Hey, so I noticed, I was getting a little frustrated when Tommy was having these accidents, and maybe I need to take a step back and take a breath and be a little more calm and neutral, and then move forward. And then we will arrive at our destination. And again, tomorrow, your child will not be potty trained. Next week, your child will not be potty trained. You will get to that point where you have months of dry pants and clean pants, and it's going to be fantastic. But accidents do happen. And this is a journey. You are not alone. I am currently living it. You have your facilitators and you have your other therapists and teachers and caregivers here to help support you. So thank you for watching this video. I hope that it was helpful. And of course, if you have any questions, please reach out to me. My name is Jessica Orff, or any of your other facilitators. And here are some of our references. Thank you again.